Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at MINDBENDER pre-workout, which I think must be like version 6 or 7 at this point. They've bashed out so many, but it does look very cool. I have to give them props where it is due. So as you know, we'll be covering the usuals: taste, price, label, effects. Will it be your next pre-workout? Is it ultimately worth picking up? And if you're new here and you find our videos useful or entertaining, please do hit the like button, hit the sub button, tick the bell icon. So we try and put out a few reviews a week, but today, let's get into this one. Taste the mixability, and it comes in sour strawberry and mango gelato, and the flavour we've got is black frost, which looks like a blackberry kind of vibe. So anyway, mixability, I've seen better, but I've also seen worse, maybe slightly worse than average. But, you know, I haven't struggled with it so far. As I'm drinking, it's generally gone by the bottom, as it is in most cases. But let's see how it actually tastes. It's a very sweet flavour. I gave this to my brother, and even he was like, bloody hell. That is very sweet. So yeah, you might have guessed it. Not so much sour, very sweet tasting blackberry kind of vibe. Nice though. I'm not really getting any chemical undertones coming through, anything nasty like that. I guess that's the one benefit of having it flavoured really strongly, is that it does mask all of that. So yeah, I mean, if you want it to be a bit weaker, you could add more water, so there is always that option. But I actually think they've done a pretty decent job, and I'll give it one more sip and I'll give you a score. Yeah, do you know what? I'd be happy to give it... Oh, I'm really struggling. All right, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I was between 7.5 and 8.5, so I'm just gonna go bang in the middle. It's decent. It's not incredible. It's also not awful. It's also not average. It's fairly decent. 8 out of 10. Let's move on to price. So if you want to pick this up, you head over to the official website shown down below, where you can use code reviewbros. That will whack off 30%. You can pick this up for £28 or £1.40 a go. And it's a 40-20 serving tub, obviously being 20 servings on the absolute maximum serve, which is what we're going to be going by here for consistency. And as you guys probably know by now, we do have a consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre's are, where a 5 out of 10 is a bang average price point. This comes in at a 6.5 out of 10, so it's priced, you know, a fair amount above average. So what exactly are we going to be getting for that price point in the label, and most importantly the effects? Let's get into it now. Okay, let's get into this label then. So on the front it's promising pump, fire, gains, focus, energy. I'm assuming fire is, well, actually it says on here it's relating to the beta-alanine, which I guess, yeah, you could argue it feels like that when you've got it all tingling under your skin. And gains is relating to, well, I'm kind of spoiling the label now, so I'm just going to leave it there. We'll get into it. But look on the front, it's got some Skeletor looking guy ripping his face off. So let that set the tone for the label. I do hope this focusing, otherwise I'm just going to look like an idiot. What's new there? Right, let's get into it. So we've got a 23.5 gram serving amount, which is definitely no slouch. It's a fairly decent amount in terms of the weight of what you would typically see as of today. So we're going on the 1 scoop. So we have citrulline malate 2:1 at 9 grams, which is a very nice dose because we are getting a sufficient amount of purell citrulline, which is going to bump up nitric oxide levels, increasing blood flow and pump. We'll take that. Then we've got glycerol monostrate at 2.5 grams. It's an alright dose. You know, you can only dose it so high in powder pre-workouts before it starts to ruin it in terms of the clumping, just becomes too uncontrollable. But we normally like to see, you know, 3 or 4 grams, you know, if we're really pushing our luck. But 2.5 grams should still definitely do something. It's going to act as a hyperhydration agent and an osmolyte, and that is going to pull water into your muscle cell. Like I say, hyperhydrating you, which is going to lead to increased endurance and therefore pump, nutrient delivery, all the good stuff that we're after. And then we've got agmatine sulfate at a modest dose of 500 milligrams. You know, you can see this from anything from a gram to 1.5 grams. So again, it's going to help to work alongside the L-citrulline to increase your nitric oxide production and retain that nitric oxide production for a longer period of time, because it does act as an arginase inhibitor, which basically means it's going to help to prevent the body from breaking down the L-arginine and therefore getting rid of your pump. It's going to stop the body doing that, so that's what we like to see. And at that dose, it should still do something. And then we've got the Fire Matrix, beta-alanine 3.2 grams, which is the dose we look for. So we'll take that. That's the minimum end of what you want to be taking on a daily, because it's a saturation-based amino that you need to take every day to yield the benefits of endurance. Then it helps to buffer lactic acid. But why people generally like it, well, actually, I say that. It's a bit 50-50. Well, actually, I say that, but it's more like 80-20. I think most people do like it, but you get that itchy, tingly sensation. Then we've got the Gains Matrix filled with Creapure 99.99 pure creatine, 5 grams, a really solid dose. Obviously, that means that you don't have to take your creatine standalone supplement on days you're taking this, which I do like. You know, I do see merit in creatine being in pre's when it is that kind of scenario where it's more of a pre that you can get away with taking more frequently through the week, and it's in here at the full dose and a good source of it, and it's ticking all those boxes here. So yeah, 5 grams, the full dose that you want to be taking as during the day to day, should I say, and it's going to help with your pumps, power, performance in the gym. You guys know your creatine. Then we've got Focus Matrix, a Reagerensis 200 milligrams, a very nice dose. You know, we've seen up to sort of 5, even maybe 600 milligrams in some pre's, so it's one of those ones that, you know, it can get a bit out of control, but 200 milligrams is a nice sweet spot amount, and that's going to help with your focus, like it says here, your drive, your energy, a bit more stimulation. Then we've got DMAE, bitartrate, 200 milligrams. I'll be straight up honest, it's not a great nootropic really, because it struggles to cross the blood-brain barrier, and it is also a relatively low dose compared to what we would like to see, which would be more towards the 1 gram dose. But you know, hopefully we still get something from it, and again, it's going to help to play into that focus element, the concentration side of things. Then we wrap off with the Energy Matrix, caffeine anhydrous, 330 milligrams, which is a couple of energy drinks worth, 3 or 4 really strong cups of coffee, instant coffee that is at home. It's that main stimulant that's going to wake you up and ultimately get you moving. So I do like the label. There has some ups and downs, you know, it's pros and cons. Ultimately, I think the one thing with this company that might cause them to have a bit of struggle, should I say, is their marketing doesn't really add up to their labels, in the sense of the front of their pre-workouts look absolutely crazy. Like, if I saw that on a shelf, I'd be like, right, that's going to have DMHA, alpha-yohimbine, 500 caffeine, that's going to send me to the moon, that's going to blow my socks off. Let's be honest, that's just what you're going to think, isn't it? But the label on the back, the ingredients, doesn't really align with that theme that they're setting out there for. I would actually class this as almost a daily driver, really. You know, if the Reagerensis went in there, I'd say definitely a daily driver. But the fact that's in there, I'd say maybe. But obviously, it's the effects that matters most. You know, marketing and theme is all neither here nor there. How good is the pre? Let's find out together now. Okay guys, real world effects time, and lucky for you, I've used it a good 3 or 4 times, and I've also given it to friends and my brother, and so I've got a very good understanding of how this one comes together. Let's start off like we always do with that beta-alanine. It's in there at 3.2 grams, and I've got to say, surprisingly, very surprisingly, I didn't feel it all too much. I would say more like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 on the tingle scale, honestly, and it's not because I'm oversaturated with it, because I've taken other pre's with beta-alanine at the same amount prior and after this one, and I felt them strongly. So it is just something with this pre. That doesn't always mean that it's a poor source of beta-alanine. It could just be that other ingredients are getting in the way and softening the blow, and there's other elements to consider rather than just saying, oh, it's a poor source of it. So I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, you don't really get too much of the tingles, which obviously if you don't like that, great news, right? If you do like it, you're going to probably be wishing it kicked in stronger. So it's just going to depend on that. From an energy standpoint, it feels, as you'd expect, 330 milligrams of caffeine, which coincidentally is probably the average dose of most pre's, you know, in that sort of 300 milligram realm, give or take. So if you've used pretty much any pre off the market that's got that, as I say, it's pretty much standard amount that you see these days. That's how this feels from an energy standpoint. So generally speaking, it feels strong. Like, don't get me wrong, you feel it kick in, but it doesn't blow your head off either. It's pretty much bang in the middle. Like, you're getting woken up, you're getting the energy you need to have a sufficient gym session, nothing more, nothing less. It lasts a couple of hours, then it's gone. That's the energy for you. There's no peaks, troughs, jitters, crash, nastiness attached to it. It does feel smooth, I will give it that. From a nootropic standpoint, I would say that feels around about the same as the energy. Like, you're not dialed in off your head, like euphoric or ultra focused, tunneled in, nothing crazy. But you definitely feel something there. It's quite a serious, productive feeling pre-workout. Like, I felt switched on the ball. I've had a great gym session every time I've used it. I've not run into any issues where that's concerned. So the focus is good as well, good. Pumps, last but not least, I would say, again, pretty much in line with the energy and the focus. Good, decent, gets the job done. So yeah, it's doing everything you expect to a good level. Not amazing, not incredible, not a masterpiece level pre-workout, not necessarily a super memorable pre-workout, which, like I say, is a shame based on how it looks. I really do wish that it would be. And I don't know if these guys can take this feedback and sort of roll with it, but if you're doing another version, I know this one technically is classed as the high stim pre, but I'm sure a lot of you viewers would perhaps disagree with that claim based on the label and whatnot. But I really would love to see these guys fully send it and do a real high stim jobby, you know what I'm saying? 400-500 milligrams of caffeine, chuck some alpha yo in there, throw all the nootropics in it to the rafters, you know, really send it and do something that does live up to that image. I would absolutely love that. That's not to say this is a bad pre-workout by any stretch. I think it's a good pre. It's just not ultra exciting, at least not compared to what they're sort of setting the scene as it should be. So yeah, there's no negatives, as I mentioned. There's nothing to put you off buying it from a negative standpoint, definitely not. And it's nice and consistent and predictable. Like, if you just want a pre-workout that's just going to get the job done, here's your energy, here's your focus, here's your pumps. It's not too flashy, it's not got all the bells and whistles, but it's also not skimping, it's just whelming. You know, it's just like, all right then, fair enough, thank you very much. I do like the fact they got the creatine in it at 5 grams, as I touched on already, because I was able to skip my standalone creatine on the days that I did take this. So obviously I'm saving money there, where otherwise I would have had to take it. So I do like that little cherry on the top that you've got, because you are technically getting a creatine supplement, a really good one as well, because they're using the CreaPure one, which is pretty much one of the purest ones on the market. And you're getting the pre-workout, which ticks the boxes of pump, energy and focus. So I do think it's priced right. You might even be getting a very slight bargain, because remember, our discount is pretty hefty. It does knock off 30%. So I do think that using that, you are getting good bang for your buck. You're not getting ripped off by any stretch. Between buy it, avoid it and shortlist it, I would honestly say just shortlist it. Like, if you're in the market for just a completely standard pre that's going to get the job done, no frills, nothing, you know, I'm not really selling it here, but you know what I mean. Just something predictable and easy that you can fall back on as your reliable pre-workout. You know, it's all well and good having these crazy ones that blow your head off, or these super stacked out ones, but you don't always want that all the time. Sometimes you just want to have a completely straight down the line, predictable, consistent pre that just gives you precisely what you need, nothing less and nothing more. And I would say that's where this one comes in. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear it. Let me know if you agree with my points that I've raised, and I'd love to see what feedback these guys roll with based on this review. We've generally liked all their products up to this point. You know, they're doing a good job, and it does look like they're very prolific in their chosen profession. Like, they are banging out supplements left, right and centre. So we're excited to see what else is coming. Yeah guys, I think that covers it all. Let me know down below anything else you want to see us review, all the usuals, and as always, stay stimmed.